Support for Jalen and Jacoby comes from Blue Apron. Blue Apron delivers farm-fresh, perfectly portioned ingredients and step-by-step recipes so you can make incredible meals at home. Rediscover how fun cooking can be while reducing food waste and supporting sustainable farms and fisheries. Visit blueapron.com/Jalen to get your first 3 meals, a $30 value, free with free shipping.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the day. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom, boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, Joe?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do we do?
We get find individuals that have kindly supported this illustrious program. Exactly what they want, when they need it, via television, radio, and our podcast listeners who've been down like 4 flat tires since day one.
We had the biggest game of the NFL season this weekend, and it lived up to the hype. Big plays from big players, back and forth momentum swings, turnovers, long passes, runs. It had everything, and it came down to a final drive by the Steelers. And this play, tight end Jesse James catches the ball and then leans forward and fumbles it a bit as he crosses the goal line. Jalen Rose, do you think this catch or catch from Jesse James was a catch?
I'm a Detroit Lions fan. The rules started to flip when Calvin Johnson was involved with 2 separate plays that were similar. Also, Dez Bryant in the playoff game versus
the Packers.
Oh, that was against the Packers. So, with that being said, I don't know why everyone is up in arms. Chris Carter, the Hall of Famer, said it best, and I agree. When I used to play pick 'em up, mess 'em up, street football, middle school football for the Beacons, and I showed up at the Silverdome, thought I was tough wearing dirty pants, but all I was doing was looking trifling. If you can't catch the football and give it to the official after the play, it's not a catch. I don't know why everybody's so upset. He caught the ball, his knee was down. You're not down until somebody touches you. His momentum had him hit the ground. At some point, he didn't have control of the football. No catch. I don't know why everybody got their underwear in a bunch about this. The rule is clear. The visual is clear. He did not make a touchdown on that play. Stop whining.
It didn't feel like a touchdown as we understand it based on the history that you referenced. It seemed like, as to the naked eye as a fan, sure, that's a catch, a touchdown, whatever. But if we have this history that you mentioned, especially the Dez Bryant play. You have to control the ball through the ground. He did not do it. It was not a touchdown. However, when it gets ruled it's not a touchdown, you're like, you know what? I guess it's bad for Steelers fans, but great for football fans, because now we're going to overtime. All they have to do is hit this chip shot field goal. We're going to go to overtime, and it's going to make this great game even better. But then what happened, Mr. Rose?
What did Russell Westbrook finally have to say, breaking his silence when Kevin Durant initially left Oklahoma City? That's cute, man.
That's cute.
That's cute.
That's cute, man. That's cute.
That's what the Steelers got caught up in, being too cute. A blue-collar organization. Mike Tomlin is one of my favorite coaches in any professional domain. I would probably run through a brick wall and try to hit somebody as hard as I can if he was my head coach. However, with your offense as explosive as it is, a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback that's amongst the league leaders in yards, Antonio Bryant, who's amongst the league leaders in yards, receiving,
Brown,
touchdowns, all of the elite categories. Le'Veon Bell, who's a two-way force in the backfield. You have Juju. You have Martavius. And you trying to fool somebody on a whack play? Like, that was just a terrible decision. And the thing about Big Ben, I don't know if he coming back next year, but man, he wasn't holding no punches. That wasn't on me.
Yeah,
that was not on me.
No. They told me I had to run a play. So I had one receiver. He had to get past 4 different defensive backs. And look, I had to throw it. Here's the thing, Ben. You could have just thrown the ball out of the back of the end zone. You know what I mean? You could have just thrown the ball into the ground. You could have done anything. You could have taken a sack. There's so many other things you could have done besides throwing that interception. But I love, you know how I always say, like, after something goes wrong, you have to look in the mirror first before you criticize other people? Ben Roethlisberger has no mirrors. He's like, that wasn't me. I didn't do it. Nothing to do with me, by the way. But there's also this bad news from that great game.
And he named names. Mm-hmm. He was like, oh yeah, I got that call from Todd.
That was Todd, yeah. Do you want his extension? You can call him up because I don't know if he's in his locker right now. So then we have this. Unfortunately, in the middle of that great game, we had a partially torn calf muscle from Antonio Brown. It certainly seemed like these Steelers and Patriots are a very good matchup, and this wouldn't be the last time we would see these teams go head-to-head. However, without MVP candidate Antonio Brown, it seems like the rest of the AFC is a little bit weakened. Can anyone threaten the Patriots' return trip to the Super Bowl from this conference?
No.
I think so, because certain teams aren't playing their best football at this current time of the year, in particular Kansas City, Pittsburgh, we saw how they went down in defeat. And then you have an upstart like the Jacksonville Jaguars, who still have to prove themselves. And they had a terrific win over the weekend. The Patriots still have to be your favorite, especially when Gronk catches for a career high in yards like he did this past weekend. Oh, speaking of this past weekend, didn't on this program we said the Rams are going to beat the Seahawks?
Yes.
Didn't we say that the Carolina Panthers were going to beat the Carolina Panthers are going to beat the Green Bay Packers?
Yes.
And then Aaron Rodgers would now basically be benched the final couple of games because they're out of the race? Didn't that already get said as broken news on this program?
Yes. Mr. Rose.
Just saying.
There's an the Carolina Panthers are aware of investigation. And investigators have revealed that at least 4 people that worked for the franchise received payments, sort of hush money, another way to put it, because of the misbehavior of Oni Jared Richardson. There's also a claim that he used a racial slur. And with all of this happening, he announced that he would then sell those Carolina Panthers. Well, shortly after that announcement was another announcement, but this one was from Diddy.
North Carolina Panthers are up for sale. I will be the best NFL owner that you can imagine. I will immediately address the Colin Kaepernick situation and put him in the running for next year's starting quarterback. It's just competition, baby. It's just competition. But also, I will have the best halftime show, the best selection of music, and we will win.
Okay, Jalen, Diddy made a case for himself to be the owner of the Carolina Panthers. What do you think?
I love Diddy. That's family. But I wrote down a couple of things that he acknowledged that he would do.
Okay, good.
First off, Diddy, we got to make sure Ciroc is now the official owner of the stadium that the team plays in.
Oh,
we got to get that done.
Ciroc
or
Stadium
one of
has
your
a nice
brands.
ring. Nice ring.
Number 1 in Forbes. We got to get that done. Number 2, winning has to be first, not fourth.
What about the music? What about the music?
I don't know if the other 31 owners realize that you're going to want to bring Colin Kaepernick back in the league. And then number 2, Cam Newton definitely don't want to compete for a starting position.
Cam Newton's like, what?
He only won MVP the last couple of years, couple of years ago.
You seen me play, right, Diddy? What are we bringing in the quarterback for, Diddy? I love the halftimes, though. He's like, those 8 halftimes.
No doubt. I agree with you about all of the entertainment, pregame, halftime, postgame. That's going to be fly. But again, it's good that he got this post out there. Hey, Diddy, holla at your boy. I want to be an investor.
Yeah, it seems like everybody wants to be in the ownership group now. Kaepernick's like, yeah, I want to be a quarterback. I also want to be part of ownership. Yep. Steph is for this. But you also notice how we call it the North Carolina Panthers? It's like, come on, Diddy, you got to know the team name before you put up a couple bill to buy them. You know what I mean? You got to know the team name. Come on, Diddy. They would have the best halftimes in the league, though, and the best music, whatever that means.
And we'll get a Biggie statue in front of the building.
We'll finally get a Biggie statue. Dude, that's probably the only thing that I like about this proposal from Diddy.
Yep.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Jalen Rose, not everything in the world of sports and pop culture is worth discussing, so you and me and Method Man keep it moving. First up, Jadeveon Clowney said Blake Bortles was trash. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
You can't get thumped by Bortles in the Jacksonville Jaguars and then take shots. Keep it moving.
We be moving, keep it moving.
LiAngelo and LaMelo Ball got an offer from the Harlem Globetrotters. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Harlem Globetrotters? In business with the Ball family? Hit the brakes.
Cheese and Jet are the Harlem Globetrotters. We're speaking with TMZ, and when it was brought up that perhaps the Ball brothers should join the team, they said if it doesn't work out in Lithuania, they can join us here in Harlem. Jalen, do you think this is even on the table?
I think it will be on the table only for LeVar to play. That's who it's about. He got a ball. Got to teach him the tricks.
I have a new prediction.
Behind Lonzo, LeVar the star.
I have a new prediction. Remember I said that they would go to Lithuania and last for 2 weeks, and then they would come back? I have a new prediction about this. I don't think they actually even go to Lithuania. Remember I said this. I do not think they will actually get on an airplane and go to Lithuania. Remember where you heard that, Jalen Jacoby. Next, a French soccer player went to a party in blackface. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
French soccer player, blackface, hit the brakes.
Atletico Madrid's Antoine Griezmann went to a party dressed as an NBA player, kind of looking like a mix between a Globetrotter and an NBA All-Star, head to toe in blackface with the afro and everything. Jalen, what is happening in the world?
What year is this?
Thought it was 2017. About to be 2018. What's happening?
I mean, this is still happening.
And
there are a lot of things that are happening in this country nowadays that have me shaking my head. This is just another one internationally that, why explain the game like Pac said? People ain't listening.
Good point. Master P claims that he was reached out to and offered a position and almost hired as the assistant coach of the New Orleans Pelicans in the NBA. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Big shout to the homie P. I was fortunate enough to play his long-lost brother in a video, Miss My Homies. He actually owes me $20,000 in no-limit gear.
What?
For out shooting him at UCLA. So keep it moving.
$20,000.
Keep it moving.
Oh, I want to get that $20,000 worth of no-limit gear for the staff. Next, it looks like real UFO footage has been made public. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
UFO public, keep it moving.
You know I have veto power on this. And whenever there's a UFO topic, I'm going to hit the brakes myself. Military planes flying around, and there's audio from the pilots talking to each other saying, what's that? Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, look at it. It's rotating. It's flying into the wind at 110 miles an hour. How is it doing this? We have no idea what this thing is. We don't know how it works. There's also being revealed that there has been for years, it's been like 7 years, they have a secret investigative unit at the government just to look into UFOs. They have video of them. They've revealed that they are tracking them. If the government is applying real money resources towards this, are you still going to sit there and deny that UFOs exist and you're going to deny that aliens are on this planet?
All of this altitude is making me get sick. I had to channel my inner red man for my sinuses.
You really don't believe in UFOs? You don't think that was a UFO that we just watched? What was that we just watched? What was
that? The closest thing I know about UFOs is Mork from Ork. Nanu Nanu.
WWE chairman Vince McMahon is considering bringing back the XFL. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
XFL, please keep it moving. Oh, man. I'd rather see somebody else bring back the USFL that's running our country when the Michigan Panthers, led by Bobby Hebert and Anthony Carter, won the championship. I'm just saying.
Under Armour is going to drop Steph Curry shoes out of the sky with drones. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
It's only right. Steph Curry with the shot. Shout to my guy Stone. Hit the brakes. I need to hear more.
If you follow Under Armour on Instagram at 10 p.m. Pacific on Saturday, December 16th, there'll be an interactive scavenger hunt where you can find a drop zone pin, and they will drop shoes down from the sky using drones. It's actually 10 a.m., not 10 p.m. Jalen, are you going to join the scavenger hunt for some Steph Currys?
Well, it sounds like the scavenger hunt already happened because you said December 16th.
Yep. Well, we missed that one then. Listen, organization and research. That's the most you've ever cared about a question I've ever asked. You know what I mean? You barely even listen to the questions I ask. The one time I get something wrong, you point it out. You never listen to me. All you hear is the noun, and then you just come up with your stupid take on whatever noun you heard. The one time we make a mistake and you call us out. I mean, if we called you out every time you made a mistake or a factual error, this show would be nothing but that. What is happening now? What's happening now?
I'm on my Morris Dance around.
I'm not doing this show anymore. I quit this show. I might be back after this. I might not. Whatever. It's December 16th. Who cares? They're dropping shoes from drones. I wanted to talk about it. Let's keep it moving. Jalen Rose, a source close to Cleveland point guard Isaiah Thomas, says that he is targeting the first week of January to come back. However, when you look at the schedule, on January 3rd, you see Cavs at Celtics right there on the schedule. Jalen, do you think they will save Isaiah Thomas's return until, I don't know, maybe after he has to face Kyrie Irving in Boston?
No. I think once he practices a few times, plays 5-on-5, shows that he can scrimmage and he gets healthy, they're going to put him out there regardless of the opponent. Yep. And if the opponent just happens to be the Boston Celtics, I think that's going to be a terrific adrenaline rush for a player that averaged 29 points for that team. They traded him in an offseason, basically acknowledging that they didn't want to give him a big-time contract while he had a hip injury after he also led them to a number 1 seed last year. Would be great theater for the league.
Jalen, am I crazy to think that if I were the Cleveland Cavaliers, I would just wait until after that game? Like, why would you put him out there in his first game or second game in that kind of environment with that kind of just attention and expectations? I just think that would be a bad strategy. Do you disagree?
Why wait? He's not a NASCAR driver that's 18 years old that you're putting him out there with seasoned vets that's been doing it 30 years. Or a high school football player that you want to play against NFL players, Marshawn Lynch style, when he went back to his high school. It's basketball. And so if he's healthy and ready to go, you should put him out there. And I actually appreciate it and surprised a lot of people didn't talk more about this. The tweet about JRLA sponsor my little brother Jamal Crawford, Isaiah Thomas, his fellow homie from the Seattle area, tweeted that he's wasting his talents in Minnesota right now because they're not giving him minutes.
Okay. Jalen, earlier this evening, Staples Center and the Lakers franchise honored Kobe Bryant by putting not one but both of his numbers up in the rafters. Now, you famously played and tried to injure Kobe Bryant and the Lakers in the finals, and you were adjacent to the 81-point game. You are forever linked with Kobe Bryant's career. Do you feel that's kind of unfair?
I feel it's terrific. Are you kidding me? One of the all-time great players, every time his name gets mentioned, my name gets mentioned, is kids out here named Jalen. Like, this is why we do a series called Jalen versus Everybody and have Kobe Bryant starring in the first episode. We get the people! what they want. Congratulations, Black Mamba. See if they put me in that statue guarding you on D.
Of course. We always give exclusive content for our podcast listeners on days that we don't have radio. We will never leave you without a dope pod to step to. And because you are our inner circle. You know, you're not the TV audience that's just tuning in late at night before they go to bed. You're not the radio audience just driving around, just turning on ESPN, listening to whatever ESPN has to say. This is our podcast audience, the people that select to hear Jalen and Jacoby, the people that are like family, that are inner circle. We will be giving you a dope pod to step through for the rest of this week, all the way until Friday. Then we'll be doing our holiday hiatus. And we've got a very special announcement when we come back in January. We can't share it quite yet, but what it entails is giving you a bigger and better program every single day in your earballs.
I'm just going to lay out on that.
What, you don't like the term earballs? You don't like earballs?
No.
You don't like that term? No. What if I said Earball Brothers?
No.
You know, Balls is about to be your last name, right?
No question.
Okay. So,
I'm ready.
I did mention this briefly on the television show, but I have a new prediction about the Ball family. They're not even going to Lithuania. Like, what's on the other side of that plane? A coach that doesn't speak English, $4,000 check in a tiny town in the middle of a country that they've never even heard of before? Like, why do you get on that plane?
And a team that doesn't even consistently have somewhere to practice?
Yeah.
Not a game. You're talking about practice.
Here's how it goes. Here's how it goes. Is whoever does the travel arrangements for the team sends the first email to LeVar. And LeVar looks at it and says, 16-hour flight. All right, one connection in Dieseldorf or whatever. And then he's like, we're sitting in coach? He's like, wait a second. A 14-hour flight in coach? And then we got an 8-hour layover? And then we got another 4-hour flight in coach again? That ain't happening. I'm telling you, Jalen, they're not going to Lithuania. I'm putting it on wax right now. They're not going.
No, what ends up happening is they look down at the reality show contract and a lot of the endeavors that he has going on here versus the contract in Lithuania, and he like, you know what? Not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah. They will not even set foot in Lithuania is my new prediction. I can't believe I fell for the fact that I actually thought he was going to go. I feel stupid for feeling like he was actually going to go in the first place.
I'm rolling with you on that. Let me tell you the day I started rolling with that one. When I looked up at the guard and they were sitting front row. Can't do that in Lithuania.
Here's the thing. They could sell one of those front row tickets for the exact same amount of money that they're both scheduled to make combined the entire season. It just doesn't, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. Like, just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I can't believe I fell for this and thought they were actually going to go to Lithuania. They ain't going to Lithuania. We're going to our voicemails. Don't forget, if you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemails. You're listening to this probably on Tuesday, so tomorrow is Woman Crush Wednesday, so we need you, ladies.
Hey, ladies!
To call up and leave us voicemails. Our final Woman Crush Wednesday of the year in just a couple days. Right now, we're taking all voicemails. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show just like this. Come on, Reg. Oh, Reggie. Oh my God. Jalen's on his phone. Reggie doesn't even know how to play the voicemail. I'm just sitting here. I'm the only person on the entire staff right now that cares about this program. There are people listening to this right now in their cars that want a dope pod to step to, and there's just no one there.
I'm just shaking my head. Don't put that on hold. Hit the brakes.
No, I'm putting that on you, too.
You want some content, hit the brakes.
No,
don't put it on me. I'm not in control of what happens on the boards.
You're in control of whether or not you're in control of whether or not you're listening or whether or not you're looking at your phone. Okay, you're in control of those two things, and you're not listening and you're looking at your phone right now.
Of speaking into a microphone and talk about sports.
Okay. Reggie just came in my ear and said, okay, I'm ready. Here we go. 10 minutes after we're supposed to play a voicemail. Let's see if Reggie can actually play a voicemail.
Which has zero to do with me.
Jalen Jacoby. What up, though? What up, staff? What up, Reg? I got two solid boss moves for y'all real quick. So I just got married in September, so I'm learning a lot about my wife. So Christmas time, right? So I'm all for wrapping the gifts and cool, being a big surprise and everything. but she likes to wrap gifts and doesn't put who it's to for on the gift. And we got a lot of family, so I'm looking at the gifts and like, which one's mine? Soft move or boss move, not putting the name on the gift. Then my last one, I don't know if, especially Jalen, if y'all are experienced with dishwashers, but typically in my household coming up, you put the plates and the bowls on the bottom rack and the cups and other things that are too hot that will melt on the top rack. My wife puts bowls on the top. That's a soft move or a boss move. Keep giving the people what they want. Keep getting them checks. I'm out, though.
All right. I got a lot on this one. First of all, a couple things. Thank you so much for the call. We always appreciate it.
Shout out.
I have a lot of opinions about this. First of all, there's one trap that I'm never going to fall for because I used to fall for it all the time. It's like when me and you and Molly hang out, Jalen, right? Do you know what always happens? It always ends up that the friend and the girlfriend gang up on the guy, right? I'm never falling for that trap. I'm going to rep for my guy. I'm not going to fall for that, like, oh, let's just complain about his habits and behaviors because this is something we have in common and he can't really defend himself, right? I'm not falling for that trap. And our caller's kind of trying to make us do that. Let me explain. He knows that not putting a name on a wrapped present is not a boss move. He knows it's not a boss move. He wants Jalen and Jacoby to say it's a soft move so he can play that part back to his girl and be like, look, on a national podcast, on the best podcast in the world, they're telling you that you're doing something soft. I'm saying, caller, that's a soft move by you, trying to flip it and get me to say something negative about your lady. That is your newlywed wife. However she wants to wrap her presents, you let her. And maybe she's like that waiter, that server, that can just remember everything and doesn't even need the pad to write it down. Maybe that's the way she gets down with her presents, and she'll just look at it and say, you know what, that's for you, Uncle Steve. Oh, you know what, that one's for you, little Trina. Maybe that's how it works, who knows. Secondly, Jalen, I'll let you speak in a second, but I'm on a roll. Secondly, the reason she puts the bowls on top is because of this. Now, I don't subscribe to this methodology, but I'm familiar with it. A lot of people believe that the source of a lot of the spraying water that washes the dishes comes from the bottom of the dishwasher. Therefore, if you put a bowl in there, you are basically creating a shield to shield the cups on the top from getting the water that they need in order to be clean. So it's not the heat, which I like your thing about the heat, but it's the bowls could stop the spray from going through the plates up to the top. Now, you could say to me, oh, well, the water shoots from all different directions in a different dishwasher. That's what I understand. I'm just telling you that I've had this methodology explained to me before, and there is method to that madness. Mr. Rose, thank you.
A couple of things. Thank you for the call. We appreciate the support. And everybody knows amongst multiple things we support on this program, probably number one is power couples.
Power couples.
So shout to you and your better half.
New wife.
With that being said, soft move, not naming the presents. I don't have time to play tic-tac-toe, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Once I go shopping online or in person, you put the name of that person. As a matter of fact, you cut a piece of the actual wrapping paper, you tape a little bit on the top, and you write it on there like it's a card. Number one.
Oh, yeah.
Number two, I subscribe to the theory that the heavier items go on the bottom of the dishwasher.
Why's that?
So if that's the larger plates, if that's the larger bowls, if that's the pots or pans, just because it's on the bottom. Put the glasses and the silverware closer to the top. Depending on how many layers or tiers your dishwasher is. I got 3-tier dishwasher.
You got a 3-tier dishwasher?
I'm just speaking from. Yeah, you put the silverware on top.
You got too much money. You have too much money, Jalen. No. My silverware doesn't have its own first class section on the plane. My silverware sits right there next to the plates. It's in coach, okay? It's not actually silver either.
Okay, but this also reminds me of something. So I do think that that's a boss move. I mean, I think that's a soft move. So I'm going soft move and soft move. But I also want to throw something out there for you shoppers.
Okay.
I used to bag groceries at the market, just like David Jacoby used to make and flip pizzas. I'm an expert at this. The way you want your items bagged should be exactly how you line them up when you put them on the conveyor belt.
Oh, no, that's not my
job.
So,
for example.
No. I couldn't disagree stronger about this. But you can make your case, and then I'll refute it.
Because you can be lazy at the beginning if you want by not doing what I say. But here's the thing that ends up happening. You have mix-match items in bags, and you still have to do that click-clack work when you're driving them in the vehicle, and then you still have to sort them when you get home. So for me, for example, I'm putting all of the liquids together, especially if they're packaged a certain way. The cartons and the gallons, they all go together. Then all of the glasses go together. Then all of the cans go together. That's how you do it. So now when you get the bag, it's a lot more efficient the entire way.
All right. Do you know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like a lazy grocery bagger. Sounds like a lazy grocery bagger talking, saying, I don't want to make any decisions. I'm just going to take whatever comes down the conveyor belt and put it into a bag, and you tell me how to do that first. I would like to think that this is a skilled position. This is someone who has experience, as you mentioned. This is someone who knows how I want my groceries bagged, because they spend all day bagging groceries when I spend all day making money that I can spend on groceries. It seems to me like you are a slacker grocery bagger.
When you talk about how to order pizza, what is that based off of?
Expertise and experience.
Correct. I'm trying to tell you, when I'm at the end of the conveyor belt and you just throw your items up there, I'm going to put your canned goods in the bag with your eggs, just like you put them up there. I ain't here for that nonsense.
That sounds like a vindictive, lazy, evil garbage bagger. That's what that sounds like to me. That sounds like someone with a chip on their shoulder.
I'm going to put your liquids right in there with your bread. Go right on in there.
Oh, you know what? See, that's the thing. The customer should be right. This same thing happened to me recently. Got a steak. It was overdone, right? It was way overdone. And I'm paying a lot of money for the steak. It was a piece of cardboard. It was dry. I took one bite and I showed the server. I was like, look at this. Like, you want me to eat this? So then the next steak, you know how that one's coming. Raw.
Such a diva.
Raw. Just came raw. And I don't want to send the second one back. So I just sat there and chewed that steak for like an hour and a half. Oh.
You was on your Busta Rhymes. I make sure everything remains raw.
I don't know why that made me laugh so hard. Let's listen to another voicemail.
What up, Doe? It's Miles down in Carolina. Had a question for the two statue experts of the world. This is a don't get fired topic. I was, with the allegations on my guy Jerry Richardson, I'm a Panthers fan, concerned about his statue. That's a dope statue up there. But I mean, I just read a couple articles and I don't think he's a good dude. So, I mean, I don't think you can keep that statue out front anymore, but it's a dope statue. Can you just keep it up and knock the head off, put Cam Newton's head on there or something like that? All right, thanks, guys. Let me know what you think. Don't get fired, because you got to give the people what they want.
And now, the Don't Get Fired topic of the day.
Thank you for the call, Miles. We appreciate the love.
Shout out.
Statue got to stay. That statue's too cold. Those Panthers are so mean looking. Statue's got to stay. You got to take Jerry out.
Yep.
Miles, we appreciate the love. I'm going to sneeze on this one. You know, sometimes you have to sneeze, you open your mouth and it goes away. That just happened. So, here's the thing.
Yo, Jalen Rose's about to sneeze face is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. Yep. It's still there, isn't it? I can see it on your face.
I'm so glad it's on radio and podcast.
It's still there, isn't it? Come on, you can sneeze. Look at a light or something. Doesn't that work?
Couple of things.
Is that just for white people?
No, that's cultural. Yep. So, just like General Robert E. Lee, the Carolina Panthers former owner this summer, Mr. Richardson's statue will be coming down.
Oh, it's got to come down.
There's no way that you can have these allegations and then basically, like a Donald Sterling, in theory, you're being by the NFL forced to sell the team based on the information as it becomes public. Now, what I think they can do take down his statue.
Lead the Panthers.
And since he's won an MVP, put a statue of Cam Newton up there with the Superman pose.
Oh, no.
Like he's showing the S on his chest.
Oh, no. You can't put Cam up there. Here's the thing. Once you put, because like that's the player talking. There's a part of me that's more management. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit across the table from someone that I just put a statue up outside and then have to negotiate a contract with that person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not sitting across the table being like, oh, well, Cam, we're thinking about moving you to a different team.
I got something for that, too.
Okay.
I got something for that, too. Salary cap.
Okay. And before we end the program, we wanted to offer our support to one of our colleagues. ESPN President John Skipper has announced that he's going to resign from the position, and he has cited substance abuse issues for the reason. We just wanted to give him a nod, and without him, there is no Grantland, there is no Jalen Jacoby, there is no studio. Jalen?
I love and appreciate and respect John Skipper. Very grateful for everything you did for me. We'll be praying for you and your family.
Thanks so much, everybody, for listening to this podcast. Don't forget to tell a friend to subscribe to the Jalen Jacoby podcast. We'll be giving you a dope pod to step to all week long. This week, then we'll be on a little holiday hiatus, and we'll be back with some new news and a much bigger and better Jalen and Jacoby in 2018.